Well, hello and welcome to Professional Development for the summer 2025 course. I am Megan Morrow. I will be your instructor for this course, and so I just wanted to do a quick little intro video and welcome you. We're starting on May 8th, and so this will be the first week of class. I want to draw your attention to the syllabus. So with this being an online class, of course, it is a little bit different than the in-person classes, but the expectations are still going to be the same as far as professionalism, because that's what this course is all about. It is about developing you professionally. So I'm just going to read the course description here off the syllabus. The course is designed to prepare students for professional internship and employment opportunities through the development of essential career planning, startup, and management skills. The course will address the critical topics of professionalism, business communication, first impressions, personal branding, networking, resumes and cover letters, interviewing, career planning, teamwork, digital portfolios, social media, and technology. The course will examine transitional issues faced by students as they navigate the professional world of work. The instructor will emphasize virtual work environments and internship preparation. This is a space to explore our interests and passions as well as practice, experiment, critique, and reflect on our successes and failures. We will expand our networks, identify mentors, research internship, employment alternatives, and so much more. So in the School of Business, this is a required class for your graduation. Ideally, this would be the precursor to your internship course. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way. But you, as a student in the School of Business, you are required to take this course as well as the internship course. And so if you don't know about that yet, you definitely need to make an appointment with Takara Graham and find out how you need to get working on your internship. I'm also available for any questions that you might have regarding that as well. We do assist you, but please understand we are not a placement agency. We do not give you internships, but we will teach you how to look for them, how to prepare for them for internships and for post-graduation full-time employment opportunities. And that's kind of what we're talking about in this class. So I really enjoy this class a lot. I hope that you will get some stuff out of it as well. Some of the stuff that we talk about, you, I'm sure, have heard of before, what a resume is, what a cover letter is. And if you have a resume that maybe you came from, depending on where you are in your journey, if you are, a first year student or, like that freshman, sophomore, you might have something from high school. If you're more in the junior, senior kind of stages of your journey, then you might have a really nice professional one. But we're going to kind of put any old resumes that you might have off to the side, and we're going to just work on constructing them kind of from scratch, if you will. You can use the information that you have, but the course is going to go through and we're going to actually create our own resumes. All right. So just a couple little housekeeping things. It is your responsibility to check your MOOC's email and announcements. This is only a 6-week course, so it goes by relatively quickly, and we do have to do a lot each week so that we make sure that we're hitting all of the topics and the assignments and everything. So please make sure that you stay on top of that. I will post announcements. I post a lot just because I have a lot of information I want to share with you. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you are checking announcements. I will make videos at least weekly and post them as well in announcements. So please make sure that you are checking it, because it is truly your responsibility, as well as your Canvas submissions. It is imperative that you check, and if you need to, double check that your assignment went through. So many times I'll get these issues with students where like, oh no, I submitted it. And we can kind of go back and do a paper trail of sorts and see that yes, on their end it did submit, but for whatever reason, Canvas didn't take it. I don't know, that's just a tech, an IT glitch or something, but it is your grade. So you need to be diligent about staying on top of that and making sure that you're looking at like, yes, I did this assignment. Yes, I did submit it. Yes, it was successful. So you'll see that on the assignments, there is everything is open right now. You can start working on them now if you want. But what I'm trying to do is go week to week to week, but I know some people like to try to work ahead, especially if you are planning a vacation or something like that. You're not going to necessarily be around. So they all are all open. You will see that there is a due date and a until date. So when the assignment, I'm giving you like the entire week, and all of the assignments will be due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. At that point, at 12 o'clock, regardless, at 12 o'clock, it's now late. I keep it open an additional week where you can get 50% credit on your assignments. But once that closes, it's closed. So please understand that you will have this assignment open for up to 2 weeks. The first week is where you would get full points. The second week, you're only going to get half points, and then it's going to close. This is part of being a professional, is adhering to deadlines, managing your time effectively, being responsible, taking the initiative to make sure that you are staying on top of your assignments. So if you decide to wait until 11:30 on Sunday and trying to submit assignments and your computer goes down, your Wi-Fi goes out, something glitchy with Canvas, I do not make exceptions for those. You have to learn to plan ahead. So if you like to procrastinate and you say, "Hey, I get my best work done," I've heard it all. I've heard absolutely every excuse under the sun, and that's exactly what they are. They are excuses. So do not wait and potentially get up against the deadline where you're going to start losing points, because I don't offer extra credit. I don't offer alternative assignments. I do not offer any extensions. If you have something that is, that you are dealing with, of course, case by case basis, we can look at stuff, but just simply, I forgot, or my computer froze, or, I was traveling, that's too bad. You know that ahead of time, and you need to plan accordingly. Again, that's what this class is all about, is professionally developing you. And you'll hear me say this so many times, like if your boss gives you a project with a deadline and you can't just go, "Well, I just didn't feel like doing it," or "I had other things that I was doing." It just doesn't work that way in the real world. In the professional world, if you have a deadline that you have to reach, you have to meet that deadline. And you need to do whatever it takes in order to make sure that you are not forgetting, that you are staying on top of things. So whether that is putting stuff in your calendar, whether that is doing reminders on your phone. I have two sons of my own, and I'm telling you, I hold them as accountable as I do my students. And when they have chores, or they have assignments that they have to do, whether it's for school or something they're due for me, they set reminders on their phone. Like, for example, my 11-year-old, he is responsible for bringing the trash can back to the back of the house every Tuesday morning after we set the trash out on Monday night, and then the guys come on Tuesday morning. And when he gets off the bus from school, before he comes inside, he has to take the trash bin back. Well, he puts a reminder on his phone. So as he's walking from the bus stop to the house, he's like, oh, his phone goes off. Don't forget about the trash can every Tuesday. And that way he's never at risk of getting in trouble or losing privileges because he didn't do a chore. So it's the same thing for you. Please make sure that you are looking at those assignment, the deadlines, the due dates, and what is being assigned weekly. So that also goes into professionalism and emailing. And you'll see this in your syllabus as you're going through it. You, as I said a little bit earlier, it is your responsibility to make sure that you are checking your Mox email, and that also the announcements. But when you email your professors, and this, of course, this being the summer class, this is the only section that I am teaching, but it's good practice to get into. When you email someone, you must start professionally. So it could just be good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time of day that you're sending that email. It should never just be like, "Sup, homie." Like, maybe your friends, sure, your family, if that's how you talk, that's fine. But when you're emailing a professor or an employer, it needs to have some type of greeting. And then, some kind of pleasantries are always nice. They're not necessarily required, but you could say stuff like, "Good morning. I hope this email finds you well." Or maybe it just came, we have hurricanes. So maybe we just got through another storm. Good morning. I hope you and your family made it through the storm. Okay. So something like that. Or if it's the beginning of the week, good morning. I hope your week's off to a great start. Maybe if it's the end of the week, good morning. I hope that you had a nice week and or that you have some fun weekend plans. Again, not necessarily required, but definitely the good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or hello, or dear, Professor Morrow, or, Dr. Weber, if you're emailing the dean of the school, stuff like that. So who are you emailing? And we're going to go into depth with this. I have a really fun email no-no activity that we're going to do. It's going to crack you up because you're going to be like, there's no way that was an actual email. And I'm like, it's true story. That's an email I received that I love to be able to incorporate into our classes. So, but anyway, so then you should say after you do your grading, and if you're going to, engage in some kind of pleasantry, but then you have to identify yourself. Remember, you as even though this is a small school, there's still a lot of students, and so you need to identify yourself. And if you, when you're in like during the regular school year, when I have 5 classes in the fall and then 3 or 4 classes in the spring, that's a lot of students. I have upwards to 150 students a semester that I'm responsible for. And so if you just like, hey, Professor Morrow, I just have a question about that assignment that was due. Can you give me some clarity? So it's like, ooh, well, who are you? What section are you in? Like if you make it difficult for me to have to sort through my list of attendance and find you in my class, that it's going to delay my response to you, right? So and same with all of your other professors. So like if I was emailing, say I'm taking a class with Dr. Datko, so I might say, good afternoon. I hope this email finds you well. My name is Megan Morrow. I am in your intro to marketing class, Thursday, 8 a.m., something like that. Or if you know the section number, like I'm in professional development, section O1 or O2, something like that. It could be something as simple as that, but it's really imperative that you do identify yourself. And then why are you emailing? Get to the point. You don't need to have a long, drawn out email. It could be very succinct. That is really good email communication. So when you're exchanging back and forth with me, and you are the one initiating the email, I expect to see good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or hi, Professor Morrow, and then as the exchanges go back and forth, the formalities can drop off. But when you first are initially reaching out in an email, whether it's to introduce yourself or to ask a question or to get some clarity or, anything like that, make sure that you have the greeting, make sure that you identify yourself, and make sure that you state clearly and concisely why you're emailing. And then you always want to end it with thank you for your time, or just thank you, best regards, sincerely, anything along those lines, and then your name. You might also want to consider adopting an email signature that is automatically applied when you start an email or when you respond. But please make sure that you are adhering to that professionalism in emailing, especially in this course, because again, the overriding theme is professional development. All right, statement of using AI. So in just this today's world, of course, we lean on technology quite a bit. You are more than welcome to use some type of AI or, like Chat GPT if you want to, as a springboard, as a brainstorming tool. I highly, highly caution against just copy and pasting. So for this class, like everything's going to be unique work, right? There's no quizzes or papers or tests, which I know is probably very upsetting, but we don't do any of that here because honestly, there's nothing I could legit test you on. So everything in this class has to make sense for you. So as I give you best practices, as we're talking about what the research is saying or what the experts are saying, you need to take it, internalize it, and make it make sense for you because it might be different for a computer science student than a horticulture student to a sports management student to finance, right? So you have to make it make sense. So again, there's there's no right or wrong way to really do something. Now, again, there's best practices like make sure that you have a header that has your name and contact information at the top of your resume. Make sure you don't have any spelling or grammar errors on your resume or cover letter. Make sure that you're not using personal pronouns. Make sure you're not using crazy fonts, that you have a nice clean format. Some of that stuff is just best practices. But so that's where I'm going to go back to using AI though. Like I caution against just like going into ChatGPT and being like, hey, write me a resume for a first year finance student. It might pop up this beautiful, wonderful resume, but it's not you. It's not how you talk. It's not how you present yourself. And it's just the employers will see right past that. Employers do not want to see generic one size, like having one resume that you're just sending out to a whole bunch of different companies. They want to see that you've actually put forth the effort and that you have tailored your resume specifically to the job that you're applying for at their company. So again, you can use it as a springboard to start thinking, because I mean, I do, like, okay, give me some ideas on a professional summary statement for, just to start getting ideas flowing. Help me write a letter of recommendation for, and I can just get some ideas flying or flowing. So that would be like, use as a brainstorming tool. But to go back to the not having papers or tests or anything like that, and your other classes where you do have to submit, a paper or something like that, and it's supposed to be original work. And if you're copy and pasting, that's plagiarism. It's not your work. And the other professors that have to grade those, they will see that as well. So again, I'm representing more of the employer side, but it goes hand in hand with your academic life too. So you don't ever want to just copy and paste somebody else's work and push it off as your own, whether it's school or whether it's for a job, because those people that are reading that can see right through that. And that could get you in some academic trouble. And it could also definitely hinder you in the job search. So again, caution against it. You can use it to brainstorm. You can use it to get some ideas, but I would not recommend copy and pasting. All right, so for your assignments, we're going to go week to week through them. I have them published in the assignment link where you can see what's available, the due date, and then the close date. And so with these assignments, they are pass or fail. You either do them or you don't. So if it asks you for 10 and you give 5, you're only going to get credit for 5. If it asks you to write a reflection and you write a list, you're going to lose some points. So just read the instructions very clearly. I do not think that they're confusing. I'm definitely not a gotcha kind of instructor. I'm not looking to trick anybody or anything like that. But it is your responsibility to make sure that you are reading the assignment instructions and that you are submitting within the proper window. So the very first week is just, it's introductions, it's welcome, and then you do have 2 assignments. You have the handshake LinkedIn profile and then the reflections, which are the truth about you. So for the handshake LinkedIn profile, if you do not have a handshake account already, or a LinkedIn profile already, you need to create those. And when I say it's created, it's going to have a professional headshot, which you do not have to go and spend money doing. We have a headshot room in Career Services, which is over in the Rogers building, which is by Tutu's Cafe and the library. It's in that student life, that whole complex. If you don't know where that is, you can go over there and you can get a professional headshot done. You can have someone take a picture of you standing outside the Barnett School of Business. That would be a great backdrop. But you just don't want anything where it's, you and other people or, a selfie you took at the beach or somebody that you're cropping out. So little stuff like that, I want to caution you against that. Your headshot should be a professional headshot or at least have the appearance of a professional headshot. So once you create your handshake account, you'll just take a screenshot of that front page. I just need the front page. I don't need screenshots of all 20 pages of your handshake account. I just want to see that you do, in fact, have a handshake account. That is the first part. Then the second part is LinkedIn. If you haven't created a LinkedIn profile, you are going to need to do that. And the same with your professional headshot. You need to have a nice picture on your LinkedIn profile. And then once you create that, you need to connect with me and with Dean Weber. So you need to use my full name when you search for me if you're not connected with me already, but you have to look up Megan Watson-Morrow. That's my full government name. And you have to do that. If you just put in Megan Morrow, then you're not going to find me. There's going to be so many things that pop up, but Megan Watson-Morrow, and then you'll see me. And then next you want to look for Michael Weber. And when you do Michael Weber, you can start typing in Florida Southern if you want to, but he's the dean of the School of Business. His name is not dean, he is the dean. His name is Michael Weber. He's the dean of the School of Business. So you need to connect with both of us. It might take him a little while to accept your connection. So all you do is just snag a screenshot of your request. It'll say pending, and that's perfectly fine. So I need a screenshot of your Handshake account, a screenshot of your LinkedIn account, and then a screenshot of your connection, either connection or request to myself and to Michael Weber. So that's 4 things in that one assignment. Please make sure that you're doing all 4. So that's that one. And then the reflections is 10 questions. It's about you, just getting to know you better. So those are already published and posted, and those will be due on May 11th. I'm also going to post an announcement as well. When I post this link, then there will also be what's assigned as well. So that will be week 1. And then you'll also see the points and all that stuff. So, obviously the grading is the same for across campus where, an 89.5 and higher is an A, a 79.5 and higher is a B, so on and so forth. So please make sure that you're also paying attention to that. And then also my late work policy is very firm. It is very, very firm. So please do not come at me with, I had computer issues, I had tech issues. You have 2 full weeks to do each of the assignments. You have a week to do it to get full points. And then it stays open for that additional week if for whatever reason it does happen. But you're just going to have to take responsibility for that and know that you procrastinated, you waited. If there's something happening in your personal life that is preventing you from being able to complete your assignments, then you definitely need to reach out to me so that we can make some kind of plan, because you can't come to me afterwards and say, well, I was going through something and I was just unable to do my work. You need to, again, take the initiative, be proactive in your studies. Okay, so how it's kind of broken down, what we're going to go through, like week 1 is just the introduction and the syllabus and everything. So week 2, we're going to do career planning, and again we'll do a video and do the assignments. Then we're going to go into resumes. Then cover letters, that's going to be a light week because that's the only thing we're covering then. So cover letters, so you'll get like a little breather around week 4. And then we're going to go into interview skills and elevator pitch, and then researching how to find an internship. And then the last week is all about diversity and inclusion and equity in the workplace. So it's going to really, it flows very nicely. And a lot of the stuff, again, you probably will have heard before, but there's going to be just some new things that we're going to throw in there. And I'm also going to give you the link to my employability skills series, which is like these 30-minute micro learnings where I basically interview different professionals about the top skills employers are looking for. So you'll be able to watch some of those videos as well, just to kind of help further professionally develop you as well. And then the final project, it will be your elevator pitch presentation, which you will just do individually and email them to me or put them in the assignment. So that's kind of it. I'm very excited that you are here. I really enjoy this class. I really enjoy teaching it in person. The online format does make it just a little bit different, but it's still a lot of fun. It's very applicable to everything that you're doing because you're going to need a resume. You're going to need to know how to present professionally. You're going to need to know how to network and expand your own personal network and everything like that. So really important and really good stuff. I hope that you enjoy the course. Please feel free to email me any questions, comments, concerns. We can communicate via the Canvas course or through email, which you'll find my contact information on the syllabus in your course. But it's mmorrow at flsouthern.edu, and it's Morrow, Morrow, not Marrow with an A. That's one I get all the time, but that's not my name, so you won't find me. Also, make sure that you are double checking that your email is going to instructors and not to students. That was happening quite a bit last semester. And again, if you're not double checking, it's the same thing as if you're not spell checking or proofreading for grammar. You have to make sure that you know who you're emailing. All right, I think that's everything to get us started. I'm on the third floor of Becker. I do work throughout the summer. So if you wanted to meet, whether in person or virtually, you can do that via handshake and make an appointment with me because I am available. You can also email me. And if there's not some time that works well for your schedule that I have open for availability, just send me an email. I'll be more than happy to accommodate so that we can work together. I look forward to working with everybody. Again, let me know if you have any questions. If not, I'm going to post this in announcements with your first two assignments that are going to be due on Sunday, May 11th. All right, which is Mother's Day. So, all right, guys, let me know if you need anything.